Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jai Hind, Namaskar, and I welcome you all to this daily newspaper editorial analysis session. So, I hope everyone is fine. Yes, last day I was traveling, so I have informed that on Monday we will not have the class. So, I hope now I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good morning. Okay, so I welcome you all to this session, and in today's session, we are going to have two topics. We are going to have two topics which are very much interesting one. We have one topic with respect to this part of Iran. Okay, not just Iran, we have this one topic which is related to the geopolitical changes in Iran. The first topic which we are having is with respect to the geopolitical changes with respect to Iran. So this will be the first topic which we are going to discuss. The second topic is about the rise to ethanol. This is the second topic, rise to ethanol. This is part of your energy plus environment and plus also agriculture policy. So here three part of your syllabus, GS paper 3 is there. The first part is with respect to the Iran, this is international relations, GS paper 2, and the second topic is with respect to this agricultural policy plus environmental policy plus also the energy policy of India. So we are going to discuss about this one part, that rise to ethanol, how it should be going. And then after, we will also be discussing about the answer part. We will also be discussing this answer writing. So these are the three things which we are going to do. Okay. So let us first start with this one part, the geopolitical changes which are there. See. Now, I think we have been discussing about this multiple times. Now we are having a consolidated, information about this. Now we are having a consolidated information about this, that with respect to this West Asia crisis, what things have started, okay, what things have changed because of this West Asia crisis. So we are going to see into that part. When will the current affairs batch arrive? I think within just 1 or 2 weeks it is going to be announced now. In the month of July itself, it will be there. Okay. So now let's see. Yes. So there is one part that there is a question that if you are joining it today, so do you have to watch the previous videos as well? See, when we talk about the editorials, you will find that daily new editorials are there. So you can start from here itself. And we are talking from basics, so we will not find the difficulty. Okay. So let us start. The first thing is, if we are talking about the context, what we see, there was this West Asia crisis. And if we see the outcome, of this West Asia crisis, you will find this, that there was no clear winner. There was no winner. I think you will all agree on this part, that in this West Asia crisis, neither Iran was victorious nor US was victorious. Okay. So neither Iran nor US, none of them have won the war. Now the second part is loss of US credibility. Loss of US credibility. We have seen that US was posing itself, or US was saying that we are the global power, we are having the largest edge in the entire world. So there was a loss of this credibility of United States. That was the second part. Third part, we see that not only this one, we also see that US as a security provider, that that belief was also gone. Okay. So US can no longer be trusted. US can no longer be trusted as a security provider. US can no longer be trusted as a security provider. So that was also one of the outcome of this West Asian crisis. That also was one of the outcome. Now at the same time, what we also see when we are talking about this one part, Iran has re-established its position in the Gulf. So we see that Iran, it has re-established its position in Gulf. Okay. Iran has re-established its position on Gulf. So this is something which has been the outcome of the war. This has been something which has been the outcome of war. Now, in this context, we are going to talk about this, that what are the geopolitical outcomes and how India should be utilizing this. What are the geopolitical outcomes here and how India should be utilizing this as an opportunity. So now see this one thing, the geopolitical outcome. The geopolitical outcome. The first one. Now we see that the US is not any longer a security, a defense provider. Okay. We see that United States no longer a trusted defense partner. That the US is no longer a trusted defense partner. It is no longer a trusted defense partner. Okay. We see that even the Gulf countries, the Gulf nations suffered massive losses as a result of reliance on United States. So we see that Gulf nations have also suffered huge loss due to reliance on United States. So this is one thing. Now as a result of this, now we see that countries, they are going to diversify in terms of defense preparedness. That now they are going to diversify. They are going to diversify now in terms of defense preparedness. They are going to diversify their resources. You may have already seen that UAE, United Arab Emirates, it is looking for new defense partner. It is looking to procure certain defense equipments from India as well. So this is providing us an opportunity, okay, that we can deepen our defense and strategic ties with Gulf nation. Okay. So here we have the opportunity. Here we are having the opportunity that we need to deepen. We need to deepen our ties. We need to deepen our ties with Gulf nations with respect to defense partnership. In fact, you will find that the Gulf, this can emerge as important destination for Indian exports, Indian defense exports. There are times it says that it is a general proverb. It is like if you are prepared, the life is opening up so many windows. You may have seen that in general it is also being said that when you are prepared, the life is also opening up many windows from time to time. So this is a window for India's defense industry. From the last 6 to 7 years, there has been ongoing privatization of this defense sector. We see that now many of the defense startups are coming up. There is defense production which is already going on. India's defense export is increasing. Now, this is once in a lifetime opportunity type thing, that Gulf nations are actively seeking new defense partnerships. They are trying to improve their defense capabilities, and meanwhile we are having our private sector which is ready to export. So this is once in a lifetime opportunity for our defense sector, that how they can enhance it, how they can enhance their export, how India can enhance its export basket also. So this is one of the part how it is an opportunity for us. So this is the first part. Now, this is one of the thing. Second thing which we see, that at the same time there is also one thing, that choke points, they are a strategic vulnerability. Okay, yes, Japan is also trying to deal with India. Yes, we can see that recently Japan's prime minister was there in India, so she was also talking about the defense partnership. First time we have seen that a defense partnership has also been started with respect to the naval radio antenna. That there is going to be a joint manufacturing of naval radio antenna. So yes, we are seeing that now the world is changing. The dependence on US for this defense and other things, now they are declining. So this is an opportunity for us. So that is the first part. Second thing is choke points. Choke points, they are a strategic vulnerability. We have seen that dependence on choke points can be real problematic. Okay, so we have seen that dependence on choke points, this can create significant vulnerability. We have seen that it has led to oil or energy crisis, inflation, hit our exports also. So we have seen that it has created a challenge for all these sectors. So what is our option? What is our opportunity now? See, it's true that Strait of Hormuz is open now. It's fine that a Strait of Hormuz is open now. But yes, you have to see, it is always said that you have to learn from history. History repeat itself. There was a question once in UPSC essay exam, that history repeat itself. Those who learn from it, they can survive easily. Okay, or if they are not learning from it, then you are going to be doomed for this. Okay, so history is always teaching us a lesson. So this is one of the moment when you have to understand that yes, this vulnerability can also be there in the future. So what we see, what are the options? First of all, we have to get a strategic petroleum reserve. When this oil crisis was going on, we have also gone through multiple editorials. There also we have seen that how much strategic petroleum reserve China is having, how much other countries are having, and how much we are having. Combined together, all private and everything combined together, we don't have a SPR of more than 21 days. There are countries with a strategic petroleum reserve of more than 1 year. So we see that we have to build our SPR. We have to build our strategic petroleum reserve. Then at the same time, we have to diversify. Our import. We have to diversify our imports. We cannot be dependent on one region or another region always. We have to diversify. Okay. Then at the same time, we also have to ensure that we are working towards building our energy security. We have to build self-reliance. We have to build self-reliance in energy. And for this, of course, renewables can be one of the source. Renewables can be one of the source for this. We have to build this. We have to build this self-reliance in energy. And for this purpose, renewables are our best option. We don't have that much oil reserves. We are not having the oil reserves. So in that scenario, what is our option? In that scenario, our option is to utilize the renewable sources of energy. We need to promote electric vehicles. If electric vehicles were common in India, if we were having the supply of LNG in India, then LPG crisis may not have happened. Then we also may not have seen this issue of oil or petroleum crisis. So if we are having the alternatives, then problem would not have started in the first place. So that is our second part. The choke points are there. We have to look at this. Okay. Third thing is, at the same time, we have to look at the third option, that is the technology choke points. See, from the present, we have to also learn for the future. So this is one part we have to understand, that from the present we have to also learn for future. And how we can do so? See, on one side we have seen that there was a petroleum crisis right now. At the same time, we also know that we have a dependence on various things like semiconductor chips, rare earth minerals, rare earth elements. Okay. So we have a dependence. What we see that we have a dependence. If we are talking about India, so we have dependence on imports for rare earth elements, critical minerals, and even technology. Okay. Adhyan batch will come. I have told it in the beginning itself, Prakash, that we are going to announce it very soon. We are in the first week of July. So I think in this week, by the end of this week, it will be announced. Okay. Okay. Now see this one part. We have a dependence on import here also. Can this become a vulnerability for India in the future? And can you tell me which country we are dependent on? For this matter, which country we are dependent on? We are dependent on which country for all these things? If we talk about rare earth elements and critical minerals, we have dependency on China, and this is where we have dependency on US. Okay. We have a dependency on China and we have a dependency on US. Now look at this. Both of them are at opposite ends, and India has to maintain a relation with both of them. On US, we are dependent for technology, and on China, we are dependent for the supply of the raw materials. So you can see the vulnerability over there. See, when we are talking about Iran, we have seen that sanctions on Iran was not a very much challenging situation for us, because there are other suppliers of the oil. Sanctions on Russia was not a major problem. But if suppose tomorrow US is also imposing sanctions on doing trade with China, then it is going to become a huge vulnerability for us. It is going to become a huge vulnerability for us. Or if China is trying to do the same thing, although China has not done it, but China has another way of doing it. It limits the quota of the export of the critical minerals or rare earth elements. So what China does, it is not directly announcing, like US is announcing that we are having sanctions on this, we are having sanctions on that. China, what it does, it quietly limits the amount of the export of the rare earth elements or critical minerals. So it does the same thing but quietly. Now we are having a vulnerability over here. So what is our options? What is our options? Invest in technology. Invest in technology. And see, we are having also one of the topmost reserves of rare earth elements. It's not that we are not having rare earth elements. We are having rare earth elements, but we are not having the technology to extract it. Okay. So we have to see this. We have to get extraction technology. We have to ensure the extraction technology for rare earth elements. Optimum use of critical minerals or rare earth element. There is one very important thing here. There is very important thing here. You will see this one thing. Most of the rare earth elements or critical minerals, they are very much recyclable. They can be recycled, they can be used again and again and again. So that is one of the important part of it. Even if we are having it, we should be recycling it. We should recycle, reuse this critical minerals or rare earth elements. So it is again something which we have to look at. That these are certain things which are reusable, they are recyclable. So we should be working on this aspect. So that is the third point, the technology. Okay. Plus, at the same thing, we need to have global partnership. We need to have the global partnership for this purpose. We need to have the global partnership also for this purpose. Okay. Yes, Anjali, my blessings always with you. Okay. Now, coming to the fourth part. That Iran as a regional player. Now, we have seen that in this war, Iran has re-established itself as a regional player. It has re-established itself. It has re-established itself. It has re-established itself as a regional player. It has a strong hold. It is having a strong hold on Strait of Hormuz. It has a strong hold on Strait of Hormuz, right? Okay. Now, at the same time, what we have to see in past, like we are having historically good relations with Iran. We see that we have got historically, we see that good relations with Iran. Historically, we are having good relations with Iran. But in recent times, we have seen that. What do you think? In recent times, according to you, in recent times, are we having a very good relations with Iran? In the recent times, are we having a very good relations with Iran? Or not? Are we having a good relations with Iran in the recent times? What do you think? our relations with Iran is not as much as strong as it used to be. We see that our relations with Iran is not that much strong as it used to be there in the past. Okay. So what we see here, it is not so strong. It is not so strong. So this is also one of the part. This is also one of the part. It is not so much strong in the recent times. Not so much strong in the recent times. Now in this part, we have to do this one thing. What are our options? Our option is this one part, re-engage with Iran. We have to re-engage with Iran. That is one part. We have to re-engage with Iran. That's not an option. Iran has become a very much important economic player in this region. Okay. This is important for our security also. This is important for our diaspora also. This is important for our diaspora also. Okay. So we need to relook. We need to relook at our investment projects in Iran, especially the Chabahar port. We need to revisit, or we can say revisit our investment projects in Iran. We need to involve Iran. We need to involve Iran in the regional dynamics. We are having so many other things going on. Like suppose we are having India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. On one side, we are having India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. Second thing is INSTC, International North-South Transport Corridor. So now what we see that this is providing us an opportunity. This is providing us an opportunity. We need to revisit the linkage, or we need to link the INSTC and IMEC. Okay. So linking International North-South Transport Corridor with International India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. So we have to see both of them. We have to see both of them. One is giving us access to the Central Asia region. One is giving us access to the European market. Now, you are aware about this. Dependence on one can always be challenging. Dependence on one can always be challenging. So we need to look at both the options. Okay. What is the main reason for weakening of our relations with Iran? See, if we talk about it, it has been our policies. Chabahar port was there, announced in 2015 itself. Then US sanctions were there. We were not able to complete it on time. Even when it was completed on time, we have not utilized it properly. Our import of oil from Iran has reduced after the sanction threat from United States. When there was attack on Iran, so we have not been condemning Israel also in the same manner as we have condemned Iran for attack on UAE. When there was an attack by Iran on UAE, India has strongly opposed it. India has strongly condemned it. But in the same manner, when the Israel was doing attack on Iran, at that time, we were not having that much strong response. Okay. So many of the things have been going on simultaneously. We have been trying to mend our relations with US. US, you know that it is no longer a trusted partner, not for anyone. But in order to make our relations with US better, we have got our relations deteriorating with many of the global countries. Okay. So that is the reason. So these are the four major points. These are the four major things which you can see here. Now, in that context, we have this one question. The recent Iran conflict has highlighted structural changes in the global security architecture and strategic supply chains. Examine the major geopolitical shift emerging from the conflict and discuss the policy measure that India should adopt to safeguard its strategic and security and energy interest. So I think you can write it easily now. I think we have discussed all the portions of it, that what geopolitical shifts are there, plus at the same time what should be the policy for India. So I think you can write it easily now. Okay. So coming to the second article, which is with respect to the rice and ethanol policy. Rice to ethanol policy. Okay. So here we are having the rice to ethanol policy. Now look at this. Recently, let me give you a context here. The context here is this. There is a mandate. There is a government mandate. And what is that government mandate? The mandate is to use surplus stock of rice with Food Corporation of India for ethanol production. So the thing is, there is a government mandate that we have to use surplus stock of rice with FCI for ethanol production. That is one part. Okay. Now we will see this one thing. When we are talking about FCI, the cost of rice for FCI, this cost of rice for FCI is how much? It is something around like 44 rupees per kg. It is rupees 44 per kg. Now, see this one thing. It is being supplied. It is being supplied to ethanol producers. It is being supplied to the ethanol producers. Can you guess at what rate? It is being supplied to the ethanol producers at what rate? Can you take a guess? What will be the rate of this rice which is being provided to ethanol producers? Ethanol producers are not farmers. They are not from poor families. Ethanol producers are not farmers. They are not from poor families. They are not part of the food distribution system. So what may be the cost for them? Any guess that how much they are getting at? You will find that their cost is rupees 23 per kg. Their cost is rupees 23 per kg. So FCI is selling the rice at a loss. FCI is selling the rice at a loss to the ethanol producers. Okay. The cost of rice for FCI is 44 rupees per kg. It is 44 rupees per kg for the FCI. But FCI is selling the same rice at rupees 23 per kg to the ethanol producers. Okay. So now see here, that is one side of the story. That is one side of the story. Of course, right now if we talk about India is one of the largest producers. Okay. Now, just to give you one idea, when we talk about rice related facts, if we talk about the facts, India, we see that it is the largest producer. It is the largest producer. India is the largest producer of rice in the world right now. FCI, it is having a stock which is 5 times over the buffer norms. It is 5 times over the buffer norms. Like, it is like there is a buffer norm that how much rice FCI has to stock. So FCI is stocking 5 times more rice than what it should be having. FCI is stocking 5 times more rice, then what is the mandate for it? So first, FCI is having a surplus of rice. It is using the public money to purchase 5 times extra rice and then supply that surplus rice to the ethanol producers at a cost of rupees 23 per kg. So it is purchasing extra rice and then selling the same thing to the ethanol producers at rupees 23 per kg. Now, that is one part. Okay. Now, at the same time, we see that rice and wheat, they are the majority of major item procured under MSP. So MSP benefit, the MSP benefit is also for what? MSP benefit is also for the rice. They are the major items which are being procured under this MSP regime. Okay. Now, when we talk about subsidy, you may have already seen 90% subsidy on urea. 90% subsidy is there on urea. Then we also see that many of the state governments are providing electricity subsidy for irrigation. Okay. So we see that subsidy on electricity for irrigation, it is also almost free. The electricity for irrigation, it is also almost free. So there is a subsidy. Now, just to give you one idea here, if we are talking about 1 kg of rice, can you guess how much water is used for 1 kg of rice? How much water is being used for 1 kg of rice? One kg rice, it requires 4,000 liter of water. 1 kg of rice is requiring 4,000 liters of water. So basically what we are doing, just look at this one part. On one side, it is our public money, the 44 rupees per kg rice at FCI. It is being sold to the ethanol producers at a rate of 23 rupees per kg. On second side, what we see that FCI, it is having a stock of 5 times more than the buffer norms. Then we see rice and wheat. It is something that is the major item which is produced under MSP. Then we see the subsidy is 90% on urea. Okay. Then we see the electricity. Most of the state governments, especially if we talk about Punjab and Haryana are having water crisis. The water table is going down. In many of the districts of Punjab and Haryana, there is an emergency with respect to this water crisis. And those states have subsidized the irrigation for rice farms. So we see that all these issues are going on. And still what we are promoting, we are having the mandate to use the surplus stocks of rice for the ethanol production. So this is one of the challenging part. It's not 5 liter, 1.7 liter. 1 kg of rice requires 4,000 liter of water. 1 kg of rice requires 4,000 liter of water. So what we are actually getting, how much ethanol we are getting? How much ethanol we are getting from this 1 kg rice? Okay. So this is something which we have to see. Now look at our rice policy. When we are looking at our rice, we see that we are having a water stress. Okay. Now what we see, there is 600 million Indian suffering from it. 600 million people are suffering about it. Okay. So this is one of the part. Then we see that is the water stress. Then in our country, we are having transplanting of rice. Okay, so most common method what we see, transplanting. This is leading to release of methane, which is again a global warming factor. Release of methane, and this is the second major greenhouse gas. This is the second major greenhouse gas. Okay. So we are having the release of methane, which is the second major greenhouse gas. Okay. Then at the same time, what we also see that we are having excessive use of urea. Excessive use of urea, and that too conventional urea. What we see, 60 to 80% is lost to atmosphere, having nitrous oxide pollution, nitrous oxide release. This nitrous oxide, it is 273 times more powerful than CO2. This nitrous oxide is 273 times more powerful than our carbon dioxide. So we see that we are having water stress, we are having transplanting, we are having excessive use of urea. At the same time, we are having a subsidy bill. Okay. What we see that rice, it is having a subsidy bill of approx rupees 38,000 per hectare. It is having a subsidy bill of approx 38,000 rupees per hectare. Okay. So now what we see? Now see at this point, if we are having this rice cultivation, you are saying that the urea mill is being sold, everything is going to the factories. No, it's not that everything is going to the factories. What I am saying that right now, earlier we were having sugarcane as a major source of production of ethanol. Okay. In the recent times, the government is focusing that we have to increase the production of ethanol. Okay. Government is setting a target of, like earlier there was a target of 20% of ethanol blending. Now we have a policy of 85% and even 100% of ethanol blending. So in that scenario, government has said that instead of sugarcane, now we are going to use another thing, that is rice. From where the rice is going to come from? From the FCI godowns. FCI is having them at 44 rupees per kg. It is selling them at 23 rupees per kg. One side of the story. Then at the same time, when we are talking about our rice policy, our agriculture policy of promoting the rice, see, rice is having water challenge, rice is having the air challenge. So what are we actually subsidizing? Where is this subsidy benefit going? Okay. This subsidy is creating what? It is creating soil pollution. This is creating air pollution. This is creating global warming. And this is promoting water stress. So what are we actually subsidizing? What is the benefit of this subsidy? Are we subsidizing the pollution? Are we subsidizing the pollution here? Because we see that we see that this subsidy is creating soil pollution, this subsidy is creating air pollution, this is the cause of global warming, this is the cause of water stress. So where is the subsidy benefit going? If we talk about the benefits to the farmers, if we are talking about the benefits to the farmers, so we see that the agriculture is having the lowest growth rate. Agriculture is having the lowest growth rate in comparison to all other sectors. So despite having all these subsidies, if the agriculture is not improving, it means there is something essentially wrong with our policies. There's something essentially wrong with our policies. That we are subsidizing the pollution and global warming here rather than benefiting the farmers. Okay. That is one thing, like there is two aspects of it. Some experts are saying that it is having an impact on the vehicles, whereas the government has strongly said this, that there is no impact on vehicles whatsoever. They are saying that all these other arguments which are there, they are all fake. Okay. So government has a stand that ethanol is not bad for vehicles. Several experts are saying that it may be bad for vehicles. Okay. So we will not go into that debate right now. We are seeing this one part, the rice part, that the subsidy in our rice, how it is going on right now, that whether it is benefiting the farmers or is it causing the pollution. Okay. So what is the way forward here? What is the way forward? What is the way forward? First thing, rice to ethanol. When we are talking about rice to ethanol, we should look for alternatives. Less water intensive crops. Such as maize. We need to look for less water intensive crops such as maize. Okay. Reforms in MSP and FCI procurement and FCI stocks. Okay. For what? For discouraging rice and crop diversification. Now tell me this one simple thing. On one hand, we are saying that we are promoting crop diversification. We want crop diversification. And on other side, we are saying that bring the rice, we will purchase it at a higher cost. So on one hand, we are giving a policy that we are going for crop diversification. We are going to have millets production. But when millets and rice both are coming in the market, we are actively procuring the rice and ignoring the millets. So what type of incentive is this for millets and how we are discouraging the rice? So we need to have certain reforms in our MSP. We need to have reforms in MSP and the procurement FCI limits. So we need to diversify this. We need to also rationalize subsidy on electricity and fertilizers. We need to rationalize the subsidy on electricity and fertilizers. That if someone is going for millet cultivation, if someone is going for crop diversification, you should be giving them more subsidy. If someone is going for millets cultivation, if someone is going for other things, then provide them full subsidy. If someone is going for rice, give them less subsidy. So you have to change the policy also there. Then we see that at the same time, we have to promote direct seeding of rice. Instead of transplantation. Instead of transplantation, here we see that there is lesser requirement of irrigation. It means less water stress, less methane emission. So we need to do this one part, that we need to have lesser, we need to promote the direct seeding of rice. Right now we are having the transplantation of rice. The transplantation is something which requires higher amount of water. So if we are having direct seeding of rice, that is going to require lesser amount of water. That is going to be beneficial for the water also. That is going to be beneficial for air also. So this is one thing which we need to do. For ethanol, we need to look for other crops. Even if the government is following a policy that we need to have ethanol, so you should look for other crops. Purchase it from market. Why to purchase it from FCI godowns? And if that is being purchased from FCI godowns, it should be at market rate. It should be at market rate. So if FCI is incurring cost on it, if the cost of rice is coming to 44 rupees per kg, why it is being sold at 23 rupees per kg to the ethanol producers? Who is getting the benefit here? Okay. So that is one part of the story. Now, I have two questions on this basis. Critically examine the challenges associated with the ethanol policy and suggest reform to balance energy security with agriculture and ecological sustainability. Okay. Why FCI is selling? Because government is saying so. It is a government mandate. FCI is a government institution. It has to do whatever government says. Government has made the policy. Government has made the policy. Why government has made this policy? How can I say so? Okay. So these are the two questions which you have to write. Now coming to the last day question. The government should prioritize transparent, accountable and safer social media platforms to create a genuinely secure digital environment for children. Discuss. This was one of the question in the last week. How many of you have written this answer? कितने लोगों ने आंसर लिखा है? How many of you have written this answer? आंसर लिखना है, सभी को आंसर लिखना है. If you are not writing answer, then it's not beneficial. Only some people are saying that we have written answer. Why are other people not writing the answers? See, it's very simple. What you have to do in any answer writing, just one second. In any answer writing, we have three things: the introduction, the main body, and conclusion. In any answer, we have to look at just these three things: introduction, main body, conclusion. Now, when we are talking about this, last day on Friday, I think on Friday, yes, on Friday, we have discussed this article with respect to the social media. There we have seen that globally, there is a policy. Globally, there is a policy that many of the countries, they are having a curb on social media directly, whereas some countries are restricting screen time. So how we can start the introduction? You can start with global examples. Okay. You can start with some of the global example. You can talk about Australia, you can talk about Canada, you can talk about other countries, UK also. Okay. So you can start with a global example, that how it is going on in the world. How it is going on in the world. Okay. Then it is saying that government should prioritize transparent, accountable and safer social media platform. Okay, so first of all you have to highlight, first of all you have to give the concerns with respect to social media platforms. Social media platforms. You have to discuss this part. First, you will discuss the concerns with respect to the social media platforms. Concerns with respect to the social media platforms, that how it is going on. How it is going on. Okay. So there you can talk about this, that what challenges we are facing with respect to the accountability, with respect to the content, with respect to the addiction factor. So all the challenges which we have seen, the challenges which we have seen in the previous classes, you have to first address that there were issues with respect to the addiction, there were issues with respect to the algorithm, there were issues with respect to targeted advertising, there are issues with respect to bullying, there is like misinformation, there is some content which is dangerous content or harmful content, dangerous or harmful content. So you have to highlight the issues which are there with respect to social media. Okay. Then you have to do this one part, that what should be the government policy. You can also make a flow chart. You can make a flow chart with respect to that steps by government, that what has been done by government so far. गवर्नमेंट ने अभी तक इसको लेके क्या स्टेप्स लिए हैं, you can highlight that with the help of a flow chart. Okay. Then after you can come to this part, that what should be the main focus, and in focus you should try to mention these keywords. Okay. That the transparency, the steps to be taken, you can mention this, steps to be taken. Okay. Here you can first mention enhancing transparency. So transparency how? Transparency with respect to algorithm, with respect to targeted advertising. So these are the things where they have to give the transparency. Then at the same time, accountability. So accountability should be ensured for bullying, should be for misinformation, should be there for dangerous or harmful content. Okay. And then a safer social media platform which is discouraging addiction, which is promoting learning, but actively stopping any such spamming or bullying for the children. Okay. So this is one thing which you can mention, that creating a safe platform. Create a safe platform. So whatever problems you have highlighted here, you have to give solution for the same thing. जो problems आपने highlight किया उसी का आपको solution देना है. So this is one thing which you have to do. ये देखो Abu Jafar, see this one thing. You are asking that are we having some answer writing practice? So we are having regular answer writing practice here itself. If you see this class, Abu, you will find that on regular basis from Monday to Friday, I am giving you some content first, then I am giving you questions in order to practice it, and on the next day we are discussing that answer, that what should have been written in introduction, what should happen there in the conclusion, what should be there in the main body, how you have to add flow chart, how you have to write the different subheadings. I am discussing all of these part. So this is what you require in evaluation also. Many a times you will find that in evaluation, most of the people do what? Most of the people just say this, that okay, in this introduction, add some example, in this answer, add some example. Most of the time there is a minute like improvement which is just recommended. But here we are discussing the overall model answer, that what needs to be written in this. what can be the introduction, what can be the subheading, where you can add the flow chart, what you should mention in the conclusion. And gradually over a period of time, if you are continuously following this, then you will see that in the 1 to 2 months period, you will see a very much improvement in your answer. And the best way to improve your answer is by self evaluation. आप जब तक दूसरे पर डिपेंडेंट होंगे कि someone else tell me my mistake, at that part, in that manner, you cannot improve your answer. If you have to improve your answer, you have to evaluate your answer daily by yourself. Okay. That is also one good way to start, Rishabh. You can start with the notice which has been issued to Telegram or Instagram for irrelevant content. So that's very good. You can start with that. Okay. So I hope that's clear for everyone. So again, I am giving you these two questions. Try to write both of them or at least one of them. Okay. Try to write at least one of them, but I will suggest you try to write both of them. Okay. So I hope you all can do that. So we are having this answer writing discussion on regular basis, and you can see many of the students have been improving. बहुत सारे students ने improve किया है. तो this is the opportunity. See, you will find this that most of the time on YouTube or other things, we are generally having those discussions which are quite entertaining in nature, those discussions which are quite much amazing to hear, those which brings laughter. But at the same time, we are also having the option to improve answer writing also, to improve the content also. In the last 3 to 4 months, we have gathered so much content on many of the important topics, and you will find this, that if you are making notes continuously, you will always find some very much relevant points, some specific points related to topics, rather than having a generic content. Generic content बहुत simple है, सब लोग एक ही type से लिखते हैं. When you search from ChatGPT, it is going to provide you those generic content. But when we are reading the editorials on daily basis, we get some specific content over there. So try to utilize this. Okay. Okay, we will talk about communication also. Okay. So let's meet then tomorrow. We will talk about it also, Rishabh. Okay. Thank you everyone. Take care and all the best. Thank you.